Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahushai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachak Kodash. The belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the Pre Shimon, we're going to do a second part to the Mayor Eric Adams indictment. Why? Because, you know, it's no more speculation as to why the feds are bringing him to trial, why they indicted him. It was because he was taking straw donorship. With straw donorship, fronting donorship, all right? Pretty much having a shell donor, okay, act as a mediator or middleman between you and a true donor, because what the true donor wants to contribute is more than contribution limits, right? And you know they got him. They got him these luxury hotels, these luxury flights to Turkey, dating all the way back to 2018. And that's the thing with the feds. I mean, look, this thing is pretty much cut and dry. You know, they're trying you for taking contributions. They pretty much got you. The feds, if they know you've been doing that shit since 2018 and you're getting tried now in 2024, the prosecution rate again for the federal government when you have a fat case against you is damn near like 99%. Okay. So it wasn't anything sexually related with the Diddy situation, because I know that was something circulating. That was something I speculated, but I want to confirm that that's not what they tried him for. And, you know, it's still up for debate whether, you know, the Democrats are taking out other Democrats, because he did recently started to say, you know, Joe Biden and the Kamala Harris party didn't handle immigration well, because, you know, making New York City a asylum for illegal immigrants, you know, it's more than they can handle, and people is frustrated with it. Like our state taxes, our state dollars that we pay, our state taxes, is going to funding illegal immigrants, man, to the point where some of them, you know, were doing better than New Yorkers, you know, in terms of the shit that they had. They had, well, the EBT, I think that's federal, but they just pretty much all had all these different things, man, room and board and all this type of shit, you know. And there was one meme going around that's saying the same people that told you to get the stabby stab, all right, or you lose your job, just let in 14 million people that never got stabbed, all right, and gave them jobs. So Exodus 23:8, all right, going back to the whole bribery thing, I guess we'll put a few more scriptures on that and wrap the show up, you know. Exodus 23:8 says, "And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous," right? So that's advice from the Most High himself via his prophet Moses, right? And you know, look, don't take no gifts, man. It's always going to backfire. The moment you compromise sound judgment or justice, it's for whether it's something lucre, whether it's a honey trap, you know, you've just been compromised, and you know you could be compromised, and then therefore you lose all integrity. That's one thing I'll say when I you know, my job when I judge matters, I try to be as fair as possible. You know, I'm not trying to look for any favor. I try to be as fair as possible, man, and maintain my integrity, even if you might not be liked, you know, because you know what? When people see that, they respect that, you know, and furthermore, it's just going back to the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Now, the book of Exodus 16:19 says, "Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not wrest judgment." I believe that word rest, W-R-E-S-T, goes back to the Hebrew word natah. All right, I believe that's natah, I believe. And really much the closest word is going into is to stretch out, to extend, to preserve, to spread out, pitch, turn, pervert. I think pervert is the best word there. So thou shalt not pervert judgment, right? You know, be impartial to judgment. And you know what, they're saying the reason this dude was taking those trips in and out from Turkey, maybe there's more to it, but one thing they said was that these different companies from Turkey that was here weren't meeting particular regulations, like firefighting regulations or something to that effect, and Mayor Eric Adams is letting it slide. Now, he came out with a bunch of jakes. He came out with the black church, if you will, and he got up in front of the podium, and the moment he got up, you know, people were screaming on a loudspeaker, "This is not a black thing, this a you thing, this a you thing, Mayor Adams." And you know, even though he had them black churches with him, and there was a bunch of amens and he was playing a race card hard, New York ain't fuck with him because New York is fucked up. The crime rate is insane. You know, this shit is. He's just been doing a horrible job. You know. It says, "Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons. Neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous." Right. And what's that gift we always talk about when it comes to this truth? That 501c3 charter, man. Okay. You have different Israelite groups that have these, you know, they pretty much turn into like so-called Christian churches and establish buildings or what have you, and then they get a 501c3. Now the thing with the 501c3 is it makes you omit certain things from the scriptures. All right, you gotta pretty much play. The moment you get a 501c3, you can't teach this truth 100%. You know, or you could lose that 501c3, and that's a gift right there, right? Because it's a tax exempt gift. You know, man. Not paying taxes, boy, shit. You know, no wonder these pastors and such get so rich. You know, not paying them taxes. They don't believe in nothing like that. They just finessing the fuck out the system. But again, that's a gift. You know. So and you know what? This is why I'm saying it's just politics coming out, politicians coming after politicians, because they all do that shit, man. All right. They all do that shit. Joe Biden and his family with Ukraine, they all take fucking bribes and all that. It's just if you're willing to play ball, all right? If you're willing to play ball, then guess what? Nothing will come up. But if you go against the grain, they're going to bring up all sorts of dirt on you, and that's how that shit works. All right? 1 Samuel 8:1 says, "And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel," because in the time of Samuel, all right, there was no kings. In fact, in this chapter, 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter, that's when Israel goes on to tell them, yo, we need a king, even though the Lord said you shouldn't have no king. 2 says, "Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways," meaning they were wicked. You know, you can have a righteous man and his sons could be wicked. That's what's so wild. You know, you can have a wicked person and his son be righteous. It says, "But turned aside after lucre," money, man, "and took bribes and perverted judgment." You see? So that right there puts a stain on your name, because we're in the year 2024, so-called. This was, you know, over 2,000 years ago, and their name is in these scriptures tainted. Okay? As two cats that could be bought. And it's even more like, what's the word I want to say? There's even more of a stigma behind it, because your father was a righteous man. Your father was Samuel. You see what I'm saying? So you had righteous individuals in front of you, but you know, you took that route. You took that purse route. Mark 14:10, and you know, one of the most infamous characters, okay, that's known for taking a bribe. Because this is the thing, there's nothing good associated with your name when you're willing to be compromised for whatever. If there's a price on you, you know, there's something like people are gonna be like, well, he could be bought. You know, whereas if you have people that cannot be bought, you're gonna get some respect. Hey, I always mention Ishmael, right? Ishmael, an Ishmaelite could be going through fucking hard times, poverty, all right? If you tell them, yo, here's $10 million, denounce Allah and join the LGBT community or some crazy shit like that, they'll tell you, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You can't put the money in front of them to deny what they believe in, you know? Even though that Quran ain't nothing but some toilet paper with some words on it, but, you know, you gotta respect that they stand on what they believe on. You know, you can't put a price on it. So, you know, that shows, you know, that gets you respect. All right. Mark 14:10 says, "And Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went unto the chief priest to betray him unto them." So Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, betrayed the Lord. Betrayed the Lord for what? 11. "And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. And he sought how he might conveniently betray him." You know, and then he gave Yahushua that kiss. And you know, and then to single him out. Now, this is me speculating. This is just me speculation. This is strictly speculation, not doctrine. You know, not speculation, extrapolation. That the other apostles that was with Yahweh Shai could have possibly also had gray hairs, right? Because if Yahweh Shai was the only one with a full head of gray, you wouldn't need to kiss him. You just say, look, it's the guy with the gray hair. He's the only one. So it's just like our apostles, right? They all have gray hairs on their head, full head of gray, right? So they had to have been, you know, again, extrapolation. A couple brothers amongst the 12 that had also the full head of gray, but that's just extrapolation. But yeah, he kissed him, he betrayed him for silver. He was trying to force the Lord's hand. He wanted to force Yahweh Shai to, you know, let loose his power and take over the Roman Empire, but you weren't supposed to betray. You weren't supposed to do that. I mean, you were supposed to do that. It was ordained that you would, but I'm saying for the sake of, you know, the lesson that you're not supposed to be an individual that take bribes, man. Okay? You're not supposed to. Because always think about it like this. If anything can happen, right? Here's $10 billion right on your lap. Sell your soul. You sign that agreement, the next day the Most High could take your life. You know what I'm saying? Now you died not having none of that money, and you died without any fucking integrity. So, hey man, Cat Williams, he say you're a prophet. Hey, he prophesied it, man. Year 2024, man, it's gonna be a year of a lot of people getting exposed. And Adam seemed like the type of guy. Hey, that motherfucker might take down people with him. So he's gonna go to trial. Let's see where this is go. We got Diddy, we got Adams. Let's see who's next, man. You know, it's 3 more months left in 2024, and a lot could happen. It's been a very exciting year. All right, so with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.